Friar, no games tonight. The other two series, we know they're tied at 1. Memphis plus 235 here to win the series after they were able to salvage a split in the 2 games on their home court. You like those odds by any chance for the Grizz to move on?
You know, my heart likes those odds. I love the Grizzlies, even back to Mike Conley days, but I can't go with them here because as much as Ja Morant's heroics have kept, even this series and kept them in, made the first game competitive, I just like Golden State too much. I don't think that's enough to beat them. You look at what Desmond Bane's done throughout this series. He's supposed to be your second best scorer, and even in the regular season, we saw him struggle against the Warriors too. Not saying he can't adjust, but I just don't like what we've seen from him so far. And then in that game was a 5-point game, and you had Steph Curry 3 for 11 from 3.
Yep.
Klay Thompson 2 for 12 from 3.
Yep.
I mean, you only win by 5. I feel like that's not going to get done. And this series is going back to Golden State now.
Yeah, that's a good point that Nick makes there, Matt, because the Grizzlies needed bad performances from some of the top dogs on the Warriors, and then they needed Ja Morant to put up almost 50 points, and they still just barely won.
So I actually think that this path to victory is repeatable. Part of it is Gary Payton II is not going to be playing the rest of the series. And that was a similar logical mind versus emotional mind conflict for me because I love Gary Payton II. I've been talking about him being a X-factor, low-key, important player for this team all year. And in this series, he's the only guy really who can stop Ja Morant. So I was really sad to see him go down. But at the same time, as someone who's backing the Grizzlies in this series, this is a huge help for them. So I think that Morant will have an easy time scoring on this team because the Warriors have no one else who can stop him. And then on the point about Curry and Klay, the Grizzlies are much better defensively now than they were in the regular season. I think Morant is really picking up his effort on the defensive end. And this is a guy where there's no reason why he can't be a great defender. It probably was, inexperience and effort in the regular season. He has all the athletic tools to do it. And I think he's doing it now. And then we're seeing DeAnthony Melton play more, and he's a really good defender too, probably the best on this team. So I think it is a really tough matchup actually for the Warriors. And I like the Grizzlies to win this series. I think these are very close teams. I don't know if I'd pick them if the line was even money. I probably wouldn't at that point, but I do think it's going to be very close. And to me, anything over plus 200 is a really, really strong value here.
Okay, Ryan, do you agree with that? Is this strong enough value where it's you can't ignore it?
No, not necessarily. Matt brings up a good point that Gary Payton is the guy that they would put on Morant. And obviously they need to make adjustments because he went off for 47 or 45 or whatever it was. But you guys nailed it with the Warriors shooting. 7 for 38, 18% from 3 is an anomaly. And I was going to be shocked to go back and look and see if they've ever shot that poorly in a game this season. They actually did. January 5th, they made 5 threes all game, which is the only game all year that they've shot that bad. So I think this is an anomaly. I don't see Memphis winning this series. But there's a guy, a role player in this game, in this series, that I kind of like what he did last game, and I think they figured out some stuff. Andrew Wiggins, surprisingly, the only guy that can't knock down open threes. I think he shot 1 for 7. I don't feel confident when he's pulling up from 3. But the offensive rebounds and the rebounding and the stuff inside, when their shots aren't falling outside, go inside. Wiggins has the pogo stick where he jumps up, misses a shot, the quickest second jump in the league that I think I've seen. Look for him to be a sneaky role guy if you're playing DFS for value plays there.